All right, all right, all right. Want to make sure everyone is able to see us. We're getting ready to get started. We're here, Real Talk. Everybody, get your phones out. Get your phones out. We are ready to start our show. We're on a new day, and we're doing things a little different. A new day, same time on Thursdays. Everybody, get your phone out. Go to what we're gonna do. We're gonna like it here. Go share it. Can we share more options on Facebook?
We live already?
We're live. We are live. So we got some people um, not quite getting on, but they'll get on. Go to my page and share it off of my page.
Oh, I see it right here.
Okay. All right. All right. So we know that we may have a few people that have joined us on Real Talk on our YouTube channel. We want you to join us on our YouTube channel. We want you to join us on our Facebook page. This is new, a new day, a new place to catch us. But we do want you to join us. Join us, join us, join us. Say hello to everyone, the Bishop.
Hello, everyone. How are you all doing today? We got so much that we're trying to figure out and do.
Yeah, we're doing something different. We're in the studios of Real Talk. We're improving every week. Every week we're trying to improve and make sure things look a lot better. So what we want you to do, those that are on, we welcome your comments. We welcome your questions. We would like for you to share it on your page right now. We have about 4 people on right now. They're coming in. Share it on your page right now. If you have friends, text it to them, inbox them, let them know that Real Talk is up and going. We're going to have updates on the COVID in Etowah County from our Councilman Thomas Worthy, be coming up shortly. And we also have Mr. Fred Zachary, a radio personality, will be joining us as well, as we're going to talk about some issues in the city on local level, on the state and the national level as well. So we welcome you all. Hello, hello, Miss Davis. All right, y'all share this now. Everybody hit share on your page, so we can actually take over Facebook for the next hour, hour and a half with information that matters. That matters. Anything you want to say with them before we get started? Say to them before we get started.
Yeah, I'm glad to have everybody on tonight. As Pastor Z said, we want everyone to like and share it on your page as well. And we've got some real good topics tonight. And I'm glad that Mr. Zachary could be here with us today. He's very knowledgeable about what's going on locally and nationally. So we're looking forward to the conversation. Like and share, especially for those of you on YouTube and those of you on Facebook. We want you to like and share. What are the numbers like now? Right now?
Right now we have about 6 on here, and we got some few folks that are joining us here on YouTube channel. So they're coming up.
Well, and then we're making some changes. So this is our first night on Thursday night. So some people may know that we're on tonight. We got a lot of calls last night asking that we were on. So if you're on, you know that we're on, share it or just send a quick text out and let people know that we are on right now. That would be great. That would be awesome.
All right. So We're ready to get started if y'all ready to get started. So if you're ready, we're ready. Let's go. All right, again, you have Pastor Z and Bishop T. She's here with us on today, our co-host. She's looking at me funny. We're in Real Talk Studio.
You said that.
I said that for a reason.
But you said that almost like I'm not a part of the show. Like,
well, let me tell you why I said it.
Today.
Let me tell you why I said it. Because my name is the only name down there. But we're going to change that.
All right, change it.
Okay, we're going to change it right now. We're going to change it right now. But before we change it, you know what time it is. Call it up. What's up, Mr. Thomas Worthy, Councilman?
Everything's good. Everything's good. How are you all, Reverend and Bishop? Y'all doing okay?
Everything is fine, man. Everything is fine.
Okay.
Everything is lovely.
Well, that's great. That's what I want to hear. Everybody's trying to stay safe.
That's right. Exactly.
I want some good news. I want some good news.
I wish I could give you some good news.
Oh,
we still don't have good news this week.
We don't have good news this week. We are well, I guess we do. Let me take that back, because we've had 179 people to be vaccinated over the last week, so that's good.
That's good.
That is good. So we've with the program Vaccinate Gaston, we're at 1,063 people. So that's great news there. So I finally can report something that's good. And then I understand Publix is also going to be a partner. So, but anyway, we've had 348 cases over the last 7 days, and we're up to 97% now of the Delta variant. You know, last week when we talked about it, it was 94% of the people that's being, testing positive. So we're at 97% now. And we had an infection rate of 1.05%. And then we are at 23.8% positive of everybody taking the test. We had a 23.8% positivity rate. And we are up to 39.8% of people in the county with at least one shot. So that's still not good, but we're moving on up. And from what I understand, the state is at 38%. So we are now tied with Mississippi for last with the coronavirus vaccine.
What?
We're tied with Mississippi, dead last with the number of people been vaccinated. We're at 38% statewide. So let's talk about the hospital. At Gaston Regional Medical Center, we have 48 COVID cases in-house. And of those 48, 5 were fully vaccinated or are fully vaccinated. And they have 50 employees out either with the virus or in quarantine because of the virus. So Riverview Medical, they have 40 in-house patients with the coronavirus. 12 of them is in ICU. Gaston Regional wasn't on, so they didn't give the numbers for how many they had in ICU. But Riverview have 12 employees out with the virus or either quarantine. So Now we'll go to the schools.
Yeah.
If you heard the council meeting uh, from Tuesday, the Etowah Emergency Management Agency, they gave some numbers, but they had the schools mixed up, and I told them uh, the numbers that they was giving was for Gaston City, not the county, because the county superintendent, Dr. Cosby, he wasn't on the conference call last week, but he was on this week and gave an update. But anyway, Etowah County schools, they're at 300 cases with 32 teachers. But they have a lot of schools, so they are at 3.8% cases. Gaston City school systems are, as of August the 12th, they've had a total of 132 students and 14 staff, but some of them, have been quarantined and they are over it. But as of August the 12th, for the week of August the 12th, they had, I think, 61 cases. So that's a 1.3% infection rate. So I think when they get to the 5%, they'll talk about revenue. You all know more about this than I do on this. When y'all get to about 5%, that's when y'all talk about doing the video schooling and all that online, virtual school.
Go virtual.
School. Yeah.
It'll be a discussion. I'm sure the superintendent will take a look at it.
Okay. Then a Tyler school system, they have 28 cases with students and teachers, and they are at 1.6%. We have 389 deaths in the county, and if you notice, I told you last week we was at 382, so we've had 7 since we spoke on last week. So from the virus. So we just got to keep telling people to get the vaccine. I don't know what more we could do with these people that really don't want to get it and not, just anti-vaccine. So but only thing I know to do is just continue talking to them.
That's
right.
That's
all we can do. We can't give up on them.
That's right.
Because if we could get these people vaccinated, then we could turn this thing around, and that's what's going to have to happen. Is for them to get the vaccine. So, do you all have any questions? And I can, we have the fire department in the last 3 weeks. They have ran 103 PUI cases. That's people under investigation for the coronavirus. They have 3 firemen out with the coronavirus. And we didn't get a number from the police department. These are our first responders, and they have to go work into this environment. So we just got to continue praying for them, and hopefully they all get their shots. Because from what I understand, some of them don't have their shots, and they need to come on board and get their shots. So if that is my report, ma'am and sir.
So.
It's getting better. And like you said, we really can't make people get the vaccination. It's freedom of choice. So we just got to really just continue to encourage people to get it.
You're absolutely right there, Bishop. We just got to keep talking to our families.
Right. And friends.
Because, and these young people, because this Delta variant is hitting them,
Yeah.
And also,
I know that we've had quite a few people been sending me messages concerning the issues they're having with the city. They're getting their vaccination shots, but they're not getting they're not getting the $100 incentive. Even if they say that they told them that if you give us the paper, the pharmacy said they will fill it out. They're not. They won't even give them give them the form to fill out. And they went to the persons of their choice to get the vaccination, But they want to know why the city act like that they don't have the money to give, like it's just they just tightwad with it. They getting the shots. They got proof that they getting the shots. They willing to get the proof, but I know y'all have a list. But it ought to be some type of I don't know. Is there anything y'all can do about that?
Well, the mayor could, because all they have to do is tell Lisa, our finance director, to pay the people. Because the main reason why CVS was not one of the participants, they didn't want to fill that paperwork out. So that's why they wasn't involved as one of the places you could go to get it. But if they got a pharmacist over there willing to fill the paperwork out for because they made that mistake, I don't understand why they won't pay them.
But the city won't give them the paper to fill out.
But I'm saying if they would fill it out for them, but the city won't give it to them, I'm saying I don't understand why they won't do that.
Yeah.
But I had my budget meeting with them Tuesday, and I talked to them about that, and all of them was adamant about not paying them. And even I've had calls, and they've had calls also on, people that didn't have both shots, but they had one shot before the program started, and then they got the second shot after the program started. So they was wondering why they couldn't get $50, and they won't even pay them the $50 either. Look like to me, you're paying them $50 for each shot, But I brought it up, talked to them, and like I tell you, I'm just one vote.
Yeah, you're right.
We got to get the rest of these council people on board. Because
so when is the budget hearing? Are y'all's coming up soon?
Yeah, we had our meeting, like I said, Tuesday. So we will have probably a public hearing probably this coming Tuesday. If not this coming Tuesday, it'll be the following Tuesday. We'll have what the public can come and speak, and then after that, the following week we'll vote on it.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll hear some good news next week on our update.
Hopefully.
Keep fighting, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Worthy.
All right. Thank you all.
All right.
Have a good night, everybody.
You too. Welcome to Real Talk. Welcome to Real Talk again. That was our COVID update from none other than Councilman of District 3, Mr. Thomas Worthy. Mr. Thomas Worthy. Listen, we're on a new day, and we know that some of you are slowly coming in, but come on in, ask the questions, converse with us while we are prepared to dive into some local as well as some national news. We welcome your comments. We want you to share. All of you that's on here now, like and share the Facebook post that we're the broadcast that we're broadcasting on right now. Like and share it on your page so people can find Real Talk new Facebook page. And those that do not have Facebook, we do have a YouTube channel, and if both of those names are both of those names are Real Talk with Pastor Z and Bishop T. So please share, like. We got some things coming up in the near future that is going to benefit you and I, and they definitely want you to be at the right place at the right time. So at this time, let's bring forth a gentleman that's been on here before. He's going to give us some update information on some information he shared with us before. It's the radio personality, host of Retrospect on WMGJ AM 1240 here in Gaston, Alabama. None other than Mr. Fred Zachary. What's up, Mr. Fred?
Oh, not a whole lot. Seems like the city council is still foolish. But other than that, not a whole lot.
Amen. Well, we're glad to have you on, my friend, as always. The last time you was on, we talked very lengthy about the rendering plant. What is the update on the rendering plant? I heard there's some things that took place. Bring us up to speed, Mr. Zachary.
Well, there have been two public meetings, two public forums held at the venue, and I was at both of those, and I spoke at one, but it's still in limbo. The council voted this past Tuesday to not bring the rendering plan, or at least to some extent to that. And then one of your council members, one of the most brilliant of all, just sort of lost his way and forgot what yes or no meant. That's Mr. Williams, and so he wants to revote. It is the antithesis of not having good sound judgment. That's the difference. Because and let me say this: I've spoken with a lot of us, and many of us are trying to play this. Well, Goodyear stank for many years. The chicken plant was smelly, and nobody came. The garbage, the dump was put over here on us. That was put over there by William Cunningham, who is one of us. And so it's all apples and oranges comparison, because there is nothing. And I wish I could just take a busload of people somewhere to let them sit out for about an hour and smell a rendering. There's nothing like it. So there are no comparisons. And the other part about this, trying to make it racial, the air and the wind blows north, east, south, and west at one time or another. So if you're stinking down in Rainbow City, eventually it's going to stink in Green Pastures, over on Miller's Heights or Hope Street. It's the odor permeates the whole of the community where the plant is. Now, the other thing that's become very evident, rendering plants are not placed in communities this side of the road. In one case, we had one that was in a city that was 200 and population 270. Another one in a county that had only 20,000 people. So I'm wondering if we are being selected to get this stank plant because we are losing population every census tract. And so we lost this time again. So a whole lot goes on with that. But the rendering plant is still a little bit in limbo, but I feel more confident that it's not coming here because the FAA did send a letter. Idaho actually sent a letter as a response to what he had gotten from them. And they're not too much or at all in favor of a rendering plant at the end of a runway.
So my question is, you said that you had one of the most brilliant councilmen of them all to lose his way. Are they gonna allow that to be revoted on, or what happened with that?
Who knows? I want to be civil in my tone. Oftentimes that's impossible. But this time I'm bringing in the collective of ignorance, dividing it by 7, and coming up with a conclusion about, the reason things are the way they are.
Divided by 7?
Yeah, 7 councilmen.
Okay.
And when we come to the conclusion, one of the things I know is that we have allowed people in places of importance, really, in this community, to pretend they know what they're doing. And so pretending, my mom used to always say, you can't spend a pretend dollar. So these folks have pretended and spent millions of dollars. The status quo, there's no difference in the status quo when Mr. Williams or Ms. Tolles were president than when Apples was president, maybe even worse. He was a fairly thoughtful man. If he was going to do something that you would think would stink, he'd spray something so you wouldn't smell it. These folk are pretend and hooked up on the instigation of their consciousness to be tied to something about nothing. That's it.
So we don't know where we are.
We are actually in the middle of some litigation.
Of a what?
Some litigation. We're in the middle of litigation, and you don't know at all where litigation is going to come down. But hopefully, things are looking more toward not having a rendering plant than it is toward having. Those folks are very strategic, not strategic at Pickle Pride, because if they had put it at steel plant or over on the commercial parts behind the old Alice Chamberlain, it would have been up and running and smoking and stinking before anybody could have done anything about it. But these are citizens who have 185 acres, 85 acres, 100 acres, 200 acres of property and millions of dollars in investment, and they're just not going to lay down and let this happen to their investment and their quality of life. And I thank them because it's an impediment to that happening to me living over in the ghetto, to my quality of life.
Yeah. Well, we definitely appreciate you bringing us up to speed. Let's talk about some anything else on the local news. I mean, on the local level that we need to be brought to speed about. I know you do retrospect every Monday through Fridays.
Introspection, Pastor.
Introspection. I'm sorry. Thank you. But we know you do that. She gets a kick out of that.
You done changed the whole name.
We're gonna push pause while she get this out.
You done changed the whole name of the man's show.
You need a Ursha.
Anything
It is different in retrospect and introspect.
Let me get a Ursha. She need Ursha.
Thank you for clearing up the name of your show, Mr. Zachary. Thank you.
You know, it probably could be both those names, but there's a lot going on in our community. And let's step back to the virus. The numbers say that every 4 out of 25 had a virus. 4 people out of 25 had a virus. So when you're sitting up in a space where you don't know, and you might even know the people, folks could be sitting next to you sharing virus. You kissing on folks, and you'll be kissing the virus right into your life, hugging on folks. And I see it all going on, hugging the virus right into your life. And we have not come to terms with the realization that you are not covered. Some of you pretend you're covered, you're not covered. And as I said, I got 2 very good pastors here, one bishop, a pastor and a bishop, and both of you preach the gospel. One of the 12 a physician.
Yes.
John.
It was John?
Luke.
It was Luke. Luke was a physician.
Yep.
Do you think he was invited to the team if the medicine wasn't covered? So, you know, we need to get real and stop having to bury people because they are pretending.
But you know, and I know we got to move on because we got some other topics and everything. But I really pretty much feel this way as it relates to COVID, to the Delta variant, to the vaccination, the mask, and all. You know, the only thing that we really can do at this point is to continue to just try to educate and stay in the ears of friends and family. At the end of the day, people are going to they have the freedom of choice. They're going to take that, and we can go over and over. When they get to the hospital, that's when they want to be vaccinated. It's too late. It's like having a wreck in your car and then deciding that you're going to run and get automobile insurance. So, you know, I think just the continuation of educating, and if you can get one, you got one, and just try to keep yourself safe, keep your family safe, and your friends safe. It is sad though. It is sad that we are back at pretty much where we were in the beginning. We're really pretty much in a worse place
Yeah.
than we were in the beginning, because I know the medical system is strained worldwide. So, you know, we're really in a worse situation. And then you have those medical professions, those first responders who are seeing this as the second time on this level, and now they are fatigued. So it is, you know, it's sad that we're here, but I don't care what we do. Some people are going to still have that mentality of thinking the way they think, and sadly when it's too late, that's when they want to turn around and do something different. So
I agree with you.
yeah,
I totally agree with you, but I also think that the freedom of to have free choice stops when it puddles over into my free choice.
right,
And we ought to use the carrot and the stick. This is just me thinking out loud. If you refuse the vaccine and you get the virus, there's no reason why they should take you to a hospital, clogging up the system. Suffer through it, die through it. Don't come to terms with reality at the end of your life, or something that's wrestled you down and made you so sick you can't breathe and hold your head up. This again is pretend. When you just, I mean, I need to preach a sermon about pretend. Anyway, when you get to the point where you are absent of reality, and you know that you can possibly be saved by some monoclonal or whatever they gave the last president and some of his cabinet, then you have to realize you ain't them. You're not them. Whatever they got, you're not gonna get. But you can get a free shot, a free vaccine, 2 of them if you need them. And I'm getting ready to have my 3rd next week. So it is. I don't know. I just don't know. And I totally agree with you, Bishop. You can't push people beyond where they are willing to go,
right,
except by mandate.
right, right. Right. Let me ask one question to you. What you think? Do you think we'll get to the point to where it is mandated?
If enough people die, and we've had close to 700,000 to die in this small community, you like me can just look back and see the people who have left here as a result of COVID, who would be here if you know that will allow them the opportunity to live. We all gonna die. That's a reality. But why play around with your grandmama's life by not
Right.
doing what you need to do to protect yourself and her or your granddaddy from having this horrible variants, as well as the core virus?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about some news that you could kind of see happening once the Supreme Judge was placed by former President Trump. Of course, it was dealing with the lady that made a clear statement about the Roe versus Wade. Just saw today where they are actually in Texas. If they hear a heartbeat, you discover you're pregnant, and they hear a heartbeat, that you can no longer terminate a pregnancy once they hear a heartbeat, and that could be 6 weeks that they can hear a heartbeat, no matter what reason. cause, and the providers are going to be receive a hefty fine if they go through with it. And it's in Texas, and we know that those same laws was going to start trickling down. I was talking to Bishop about it. You know, Republican states have a tendency of actually copying what other states are doing. So, just your thought on, first of all, how they wouldn't allow Obama to place someone in Supreme Court when he had the opportunity. They kind of blocked him, but then they allowed, I think, Trump. How many did Trump replace?
Yeah.
Well, my thoughts of this: Obama was an enigma, he was the first African American president, and well, I know he went through hell and back. You could have probably seen the flames. It is important that women understand that men, and some women, but mostly men, lust for power. And the lust for power is to always keep somebody crushed so that you can stand on. Remember back, women didn't get the right to vote till 1919. Were not included in the Constitution as a person. They were property. So all of this goes, it's balanced on a foundation that's been unfair from the beginning. You have a governor in Texas who says that you can't send your child to school with a mask, which is a health thing, but he says a woman can't have an abortion after 6 weeks of pregnancy, and then most women don't know they are pregnant in 6 weeks. And the most phenomenal thing about this to me is that the folks who are voting and carrying on about abortions, and nobody that I know thinks that abortion should be used as birth control method. But the folk who are voting and putting all this into place, there's more than one reason. They don't give a flip about abortions. They just know that in the next 10 years, the country is going to be more a minority majority. They know that. And they also know that and when that happens, they become a minority in population, which means that you got to put some things in place to keep folks from voting regardless, to keep folks from having the opportunity to the courthouse. This is the first state law anywhere that says that you don't have to have standing, which sets a precedent in law, period. You don't have to have standing to take a person to court. You just drive them as an Uber driver to the clinic and you can come back and sue them. But the precedence has been 50 years that a woman should have the right to choose to terminate a pregnancy or not. Now, my point I was getting ready to make, folks who are making the laws, who are shaping the culture for the next whatever many years, are all white men. So none of them get pregnant and have to have an abortion. So it is incredible that women organize, stay organized, and get those culprits out of those offices where they are sitting now and making some horrendous decisions for the largest part of our population, women.
And you know, they even attacking our voters, the different laws and rules when it come down to voting. And you know, all that start taking place after the election, where Georgia was able to turn some things around and go from a red state to a blue state before it's putting someone in office. And a lot of people didn't think it was going to happen. Now all of a sudden, you know, after they heard people holler, they rigged the election, they are trying to actually, you know, they see that we are bought into voting. Go vote. You know, we are bought into it. We get up and we go vote. We done rallied and got people up, get out of their seats. They don't listen to the my vote don't count. They getting out and they're voting, and they realize that their vote is power and the change that it made. But now they're messing with the different rules and the regulations when it come down to voting. So, and the Supreme Court kind of passed that down too, don't they?
The Supreme Court has always been, except for a mid-level period in our history, an activist court. So when you look back at Plessy versus Ferguson, Brown versus the Board of Education, the White case, and the case of interracial marriages, the Supreme Court has dropped the ball a number of times. Now, you let's look at the Supreme Court too. When you look back at the Supreme Court, Thurgood Marshall was the minority on that court, brilliant lawyer. Then they brought Uncle Thomas on, and he is still there. Has never voted for anything that is significant in the lives of minorities to challenge any in the status quo. And now we have a court that is a totally right-wing court, and Roberts is trying to save his court because he doesn't want his court to be seen as an activist skinhead court. But the thing with the court is, the court goes in cycles. It's cyclical the way they rule. What they ruled on, they didn't rule on the Texas state. So they just let it drop. They just let the law drop and be executed. So they didn't roll on it, didn't vote on it. The Mississippi case is coming. Everybody's placing the value on the Mississippi case to sort of tame the Texas case. None of that is going to be effectuated until we have a court that's. And then let's look at Shelby County versus the voting rights bill. Section 5 was stripped out. So now they're looking at stripping out Section 2 through the courts. So anything that they have to vote in for us and keep voting it in for us is going to be us against them kind of situation. And we normally lose those except when we stand on the morals that are there for us. We can't collapse and become like them. And I'm not just talking about white people. I'm talking about corrupt people.
Right. Because basically, after this last presidential election, the goal is to make it harder for minorities to vote.
Exactly.
And some of the things that they're even trying to put in place are just so minor and trivial, like not giving out bottled water, not, just simple things like that. It is an attempt to keep minorities away from the polls and from voting. And I know with the Supreme Court voting on behalf, all but in the state of Texas, doing away with Roe versus Wade, they have made it so too. Pastor Huff talked about those fines. If I understand correctly, they even have it in place now in Texas to where they're giving awards to, you can turn people in and get an award up to about $10,000 for turning someone in for having an abortion. So it's really it really points to the continuation of systemic racism in so many ways. And so I think that one of the things that I think that we have to continue to press the importance of also is participating in those midterm elections. We have to make sure that we just don't show up for the presidential election, but we've got to make sure that minorities, Black and brown people, show up in those midterm elections, if at all possible, pushing that. Now, and I say that about the midterm elections. I also understand, and I don't know if either one of you've heard about this, the senator from Georgia, the preacher, I can't call his name right now. Right. Now, am I understanding correctly that Herschel Walker is challenging him in his position, or have you heard that? Is that
With
true?
the support of Donald Trump.
Donald
Yes,
Trump.
he is.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
And that goes back to what the statement that you just made. You can't just talk about white folks. You've got some of us that are
Sure enough.
being bought out and whatever else by
Yeah.
by significant others. But
They know how to choose us. You know, they know who embraces their thoughts on acceptability through them. You know, some of us don't believe we're good if we don't have a quote white friend, and there's nothing wrong with that. That we say we go to dinner or lunch with. I've said in many situations where folks have made that a big deal. Oh, my white friend, this and my. Your friend is your friend, white, black, or indifferent. And so if they embrace you and accept you, that shouldn't be for you to believe in yourself as a decent person because you chocolate and you've been accepted by vanilla.
Chocolate.
that's me. I don't have a problem. Don't put no.
That's a beautiful chocolate there. Beautiful chocolate.
Thank
No.
you. Thank
So,
you.
so we are held hostage to many things. We are held hostage to our incivility to each other, not respecting the life of people who look like us, to poverty and trying to use poverty as an excuse to be reckless and incivil and killing each other. It's just a whole lot of stuff we are held hostage to. Centuries ago, we were held hostage by the same people who hold us hostage. Now only they use a bull whip and the Bible Belt. And so now we are looking at going into this new foray of keeping people from voting with different mechanisms, but they would use something similar in the past. You had to know how many bubbles were in a bar of soap, or how many jelly beans were in a gallon jar.
Right.
And you had to quote the Constitution and know those kinds of things. They just elevated it to a different level. It's just as silly, but it's a different level. And we have to stand up and voting in the midterm, to me, is probably more important than voting in the presidential election.
Question.
Yes, sir.
How do you think Biden has done so far as our president?
As best he can.
Yeah.
Right. With the hand.
Had to
he was
clean
dealt.
up, had to clean up a mess.
With the hand.
He's
he was
taking a
dealt.
beating, ain't he?
Well, he and all presidents do. The honeymoon is over.
Yeah.
Biden is one of those older white guys who is stuck on thinking about something he wanted to do. Obama wouldn't let him do it. Obama wouldn't pull everybody out. Biden had this on his mind for centuries, anyway, decades, and he did it. And I'm not against bringing the troops home, because up until the last couple of skirmishes, we have been counted for. We leave, don't have no jobs. I mean, no, don't have the appropriate certification. So you go into the service and they put you in the Army and artillery or something similar, and oftentimes we come back in a flag draped box. So he's doing the best. I think he's doing the best.
Yeah.
All of them could do better, but Biden is an old white man, so you have to look at it from that perspective. He thinks.
So I was concerned about all the weapons and equipment they left over there for whoever to get it, to use it.
But
They've done that in every one of those skirmishes. They've done that everywhere we've been. They have left treasure and good military grade weapons there. I don't know where to bring them back. They left billions of dollars there. They trained an army, but propped it up with pretend. Folks wasn't no fight, and then they lost, and they want to make them cowards. And they lost 70,000 people to our 2,500. And then you just gonna take away the air cover, take away the technology, and say, go on out there and fight for yourself. And I keep hearing that from people of status, they needed to stand up. Well, you don't send your kids off to war. The volunteers are Hispanics, black folks, and poor white folks. So if you're not doing it, why you expect these folks to do it? They're not trapped up in the Civil War kind of heresy where you go send your children to the snow drift knee deep with some coca sack wrapped around their feet, fighting for something that they didn't have, fighting for the continuation of keeping them slaves. It's all a mind game. If you get into the mind early enough, if you get into the mind convincingly enough, and these folks, Donald Trump got into their mind to say, you're going back to hoops, skirts, and plantations, and we're going to send them back by making America great again. Less of these.
You was going to say something about the equipment.
Yeah, I know a lot of it was supposedly where it would not work, or they were not supposed to be able to use it. I can't think of the word that I'm trying to say right now, but it was supposedly destroyed, disabled, so they wouldn't be able to use it.
They're aftermarket parts for anything in the world on the black market. So if you got enough money, you can fix it. Exactly.
Right.
Might buy them from us.
So, question, I gotta ask this. I think they'll bring some of the soldiers that passed away home, and Biden and his people were standing out there. Did he actually look at his watch?
I don't know. You know, the last week it was a petty thing about him wearing a tan suit. It was about Obama. Tan suits can be very nice. And he said you can't wear a tan suit or a blue blazer with some striped underwear. It is just incredible at the stuff that's going on, that's serious stuff, that's life and death stuff, and they worrying about that. He might have looked at his watch. I don't know. He might want to know what time it was. He might have had another appointment. And it wasn't nothing time was going to do for the 12 bodies he was bringing back anyway. It's just, how do we get beyond the pettiness, the pettiness, and start looking at how we can, as a collective, move forward in a way that that benefits us all. You know, and that's all about politics. He looked at his watch. He looked down at his shoes. That's a crime as president I've lived with. I mean, he seems to, yeah, he will
cry at the drop of a hat. He will. I don't know if it's his age just got him sent, like that or what.
Minister Dye says just distractions.
Yeah. Well, and I'm close to his age, not quite there. I ain't crying a whole lot. It's hard for me to get some tears. It is, in fact, the reason, if you look at the comparative analysis between the Greeks and the Romans and their demise and what's happening with America's greatness, we're headed down that same.
Yeah. You'll tune in to Real Talk with Pastor Z and Bishop T, along with our special guests. On today, again, we have radio personality, Introspect host, Mr. Fred Zachary. His show airs Monday through Fridays, 12 to 12:30, or AM 1240 WMGJ. You can live stream during that time at www.wmgjam.com. And he always bringing up local topics, state topics, national topics. And we're so happy to have him on with us on today. We do ask that everyone that's joining us on today would like and share our program. We're going to be coming on every Thursdays. I know some of you all was looking forward to seeing us on yesterday, but we moved to Thursdays to allow those that have Bible study to join us as well. Got some important stuff coming your way next week. We do want you to join in with us next week. We're going to have an opportunity for you to ask either a physician or someone that's in the medical field some questions concerning the vaccination, if you have any, the virus, and any other questions that's going to be coming up during that segment. We look forward to doing that on next Thursday. We're just happy to have all of you here. We do have a YouTube channel for those that's not able to join us on Facebook Live. Share the YouTube channel. It's a Real Talk with Pastor Z and Bishop T. So like and subscribe, and go ahead and like the Facebook page. Bishop T told me to remind all of you all when you hit the YouTube channel, hit the notification button. Therefore, when we get ready to go live, you will be notified once we launch our broadcast.
Yeah, that's on YouTube. YouTube will give you the ability to hit that notification button so that you can be notified when we go live. Yeah. But we definitely have some exciting stuff coming up that we're adding to the show. So definitely want to encourage you to tune in on next week, and some questions that have been raised prior to now can be asked and answered, receive answers for those questions.
We definitely want some interaction from our guests. Definitely want you to be with us and actually comment or ask your questions either on YouTube or Facebook. Mr. Zachary, you got anything else interesting that you want to share before you leave?
I do. I just want to say to your audience that you can't do better if you don't know better. We have to understand the process and the system in order to effectuate change in the system. We can't just keep not knowing how it works and trying to make it work for us. We got to understand it. And that's going to take a few years to pull us into away from that gap, because I just understand that most of us do not understand how the system works, and that's okay. But to keep not understanding how it works, it is a problem. So we need to educate ourselves on how the system works and use it to our best benefit.
Amen. We got some comments that was made throughout while we was communicating, conversing with you. Miss whoever that is. I can't pronounce that name, but it said, Mr. Zachary, I really appreciate all your knowledge. You are very informative. Check them out on Introspect, Monday through Fridays, 12 to 12:30 or AM 1240 WMGJ. That's what he do every day of the week, okay? The folks making laws, what BT mean? What BT mean?
Folks making laws, I guess, about pregnancy.
Pregnancies don't even have a uterus, okay? Should be my body, my choice. And then we was talking about the voting, so not just midterm, but local election as well. Definitely that.
Yes.
Definitely that. You did hear, don't forget Iran contra trillions was left. Real talk. Listen, you heard the councilman say that they're doing the budget hearing. So, you know, during that time is when things get kind of hot, don't it? Did I lose you?
The budget talks are that's a circular process. That's what I'm talking about, knowing how it should work. We brought in as citizens and constituents at the end of it. The budget has already been formatted. Money has already been determined and by category where it's going to go, and then they bring it to just push it out there on us like Amazing Grace at a funeral. They just give us the notion that we are participating when we're really not. And so Councilman Worthy said something else about the mayor. The council controls the budget. The council controls the budget. So the mayor may or may not be a good, strong mayor, whatever he's supposed to be, but the council controls the budget. The citizens have no real participation in the budget. In Birmingham, all 99 wards have a meeting with the budget process, and they get to have input and have some say. We don't here. And that's because we accept the format. We've had two black chairs of the council, maybe three since I've been back here. But what is that we accept it. We don't want to push them up against the barbed wire too much for being inconsistent with our needs. And so when we go and sit and look, and you have to go 2 weeks and ask to see if you can come forth, and then you have to tell them what you're going to talk about, and you either get a yay or a nay. So that's not, in my estimation, the way democracy or the republic should work, especially with black folks in leadership.
All right, my friend. What's coming up tomorrow on Introspect?
We're going to be talking about survivors, black survivors of cancer, which I am one, and we're going to be looking at why medicine is so determined to leave us out, and a lot of what has to do with this vaccine hesitancy is the history of how we've been treated, but we need to clear that up. Many of the inventions that are medical inventions have been invented by black folks. And including this virus vaccine. And we need to understand that, they're not going to give a shot that's bad for me to D. If it was just bad for me, D wouldn't be taking it. They use the Tuskegee experiment and want to say that's most folks don't even know what it was. It was black community health nurses monitoring a process that they could have blown the whistle on very early on, but that's still, you got to look back and track black history. And it was only in the black community. They wasn't preventing white folks from being treated for syphilis. It was just black folks.
Yeah.
So, let's get on top of it. That's just me. Let's know when we sit at the table what we're talking about. Let's do the research. If one of you going to be a councilman the next time, start learning budget processes, study the ordinances that have been passed, understand the history of guests. And we're still on the 50-year consent decree with the fire department. So, just and raise hell when you have to.
Yeah.
That flies with vinegar and more with honey and all that stuff. You don't have nothing but vinegar. So, you got to deal with the vinegar. Turn that vinegar into honey or whatever. Honey is what it is for you. Honey is what it is for me. But collectively, we haven't got much honey in this.
That's right. So that's the topic for tomorrow. Okay,
Yes,
y'all
sir.
catch Mr. Fred Zachary dealing with that on tomorrow again on AM 1240 WMGJ right here in Gaston, Alabama. If you're somewhere else and you would like to hear his radio talk show, you can go to www.wmgjam.com and you can live stream his show in FM in stereo. So someone said, what is the 50-year consent decree?
It's the fire department's unwillingness in back 50 years ago to be integrated and to operate as a fair and just department. And it hasn't met the criteria of the federal court in 50 years. Still laboring under that 50-year consent, federal consent.
Amen. Thank you for sharing that with us. You got anything for Mr. Zachary?
No, it was good having you again, Mr. Zach.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're so welcome, man. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right. Be
Have a good
safe.
one. You too.
You too.
All right. Well, Bishop, you have anything?
You took your head off during the broadcast?
I did. I got tired of messing with it. It was getting on my nerves. I can only wear it for so long.
I don't have anything. I just want all of our viewers, those of us here, and I'm sure we will, get. I just want us to really be prepared for where we're going, where the show is going, some of the things that we're implementing, so that I think are going to be very educational and beneficial of all to our viewers, to our listeners. And so just want to encourage you to show up with us. I know we got a new day and everything and new time and all, but I believe that you will benefit from the information that we have coming and some of the things that we're implementing in the show. Good to have everybody on tonight. Let's do what we can to continue to encourage others to vaccinate, mask up, and if not, just continue to practice social distancing and do what we can to stay safe. We do need to be prayerful. There is so much going on. These are such perilous times. There is so much going on in the world. We pray for those people in Louisiana and those people all up the East Coast.
New Jersey.
New Jersey, where there's massive flooding. And I don't know if you've really keyed in on this or zoomed in on this. Most of the commentators who are reporting are saying unprecedented. And we are we're living in unprecedented times. And so we definitely want to pray for the people who have been so devastated by Ida.
Yeah.
That devastated the Gulf Coast and the East Coast. And so our prayers are with those people. Some of the videos that we were able to see today was just heart-wrenching, seeing families that were basically living in their cars because they don't have air conditioning in their homes, no power in their homes. And so our prayers go out to those that have been affected by Hurricane Ida. Our prayers go out definitely to them. And we're still praying for those people that were affected in Haiti by the earthquake there. Our prayers are still with those Americans and allies who are yet in Afghanistan. And we really just need to be praying overall for that situation, because we know those people are coming to America. And I was listening today, there's already some controversy about that amongst white supremacists. And so we just really have to, those of us who are believers, really must stay on our knees and stay before God during these very unprecedented times.
So
very unprecedented times.
I believe I saw where two power workers that was trying to restore power died.
Yeah.
Trying to restore power. It's a lot going on.
I think one of the governors, I think it was from Louisiana, he said this is more crucial for now. The time that they're in now after Ida is more crucial for losing lives, more so than necessarily during the storm, because people get swept away in currents and so we just can't take for granted that we have power and all of the necessities of life when there are people that that close to us who don't have the necessities. So.
And that's true, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because most of the time when things like these disasters happen like this, there's always someone local that is trying to collect items for people who do not have, whether it's clothes, water, or whatever it may be, canned goods. I'm sure it's going to come down the pipe. If you hear of anyone that is actually collecting those things and is trying to get it to the people, make sure you give it to the right organization that's going to give it to the right people, because people do use this as an opportunity to run game or run scams. We see one from Miss Kirkpatrick. Also, the aftermath of Ida in New York and New Jersey, the death toll is up to 22. Let's continue to pray for those families. Do you have anything else you would like to share before we go off, Bishop?
No, just
we thank all of you all for joining us on our new day. We're in our studio. We're still getting things together. We hope you are enjoying what we are trying to do. Y'all like the way she roll her eyes at me, don't you? She's gonna be missing her eye for long. But anyway, we hope that you have enjoyed our show. Please like our Facebook page. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be here every Thursday now. So pass that word on to any and everyone that we're here on Thursdays, 6:15. Thursday, 6:15. Bishop T and yours truly, Pastor Z. Again, next Thursday, y'all, got something special. Something special for y'all. Something special for y'all.
So can I ask you a question?
So special, dog.
Why, when you said here with Bishop T and yours truly, it's like, I mean, you are just so
Listen,
self-absorbed.
I majored in radio and TV broadcast. Some things is just what you learn.
Oh,
I was
okay.
taught by the best, Kenny Alexander.
Who is that?
Y'all knew him as Jermaine, but his name was Kenny Alexander. He's a bar. He was barber.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Okay, I know who you're talking
You know
about. I know who you're talking about. Sometimes I forget
Now, I
that
don't
you
know. No, I don't like that freaking fret.
fret. What is that?
That funny. It's gonna be funny. So Google that before we go off, because we're gonna get whoever that is.
Ooh.
They call us freaking fret. Birdman Road. Oh. They having a good time with that. Birdman Road. Anyway, Kenny Alexander, he was he taught me at WMGJ and trained me how to be on the radio.
Okay.
So I learned something. I just pick up some things from him.
Okay.
And he's still a legend. He still was one of the best and still the best. Thank you all for joining us. What is it? Oh, okay.
Ice skating duo. Come on,
Duo.
they were comedians.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right, we'll give you a pass.
Quit your
We'll
day.
give you a
Don't
pass
quit
on
your day
that.
job. Your day job. You see how I didn't flinch.
Until next time.
Bye bye.
We out.
Thank you.